Welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at interval training. We're still in the practice mode of the app. When I click on interval training, it takes you to the settings screen where you can customize. Now let's look at the customization feature available in interval training. The first one you have is no direction. And if I click on that, it gives you ascending and descending. And what that means is how the interval is played. So when we play this way, that's ascending. Pa, pa. The interval is being played ascending. I just played an interval of a perfect fifth. Descending means it would go the other way. Pa, pa. It would play the interval the other way. And it's important to be able to hear interval, both ascending and descending, and figure out what it is. And so with this setting, you can start determine which one you want to have first. You can also engage both. So some intervals play ascending, some play descending. And whichever one you want to disengage, you just touch on it, right? And there you go. Let's go back with the green arrow. Below that, it gives you intervals, and you see that there's a 6. And what that means, you can customize the types of intervals you want to quiz. So if you're more beginner, I would recommend you start with diatonic intervals, right? And to disable an interval or remove an interval from the quiz, you just tap on it. So like, for example, if you don't want to be able to be dealing with minor seconds, you can just tap on that. We have minor second all the way up to intervals of a 13th, both minor and major. So as you get more comfortable, you should go in and add more intervals to the list, or take out intervals that you're pretty comfortable with, put in more complex intervals so you can widen your interval palette of understanding. So that's what that interval quality does. Play mode, let's click on that. Now you can see there's 2 modes, blocked and broken. What does play mode mean? When we play the interval like this, we're playing it broken, one after the other. When we play both notes together, we're playing the interval blocked. Another feature you should certainly play around with as you get better. Because sometimes you're going to hear intervals blocked, sometimes you're going to hear them broken. The process is the same in figuring out these intervals. You can, again, engage both. So some intervals will play broken, some will play blocked. Let's go back. Under speed, it's the rate at which the interval plays. So there's 3 modes here: slow, normal, and fast. So if you want the interval to play like this, that's fast. Or if you want it to go slow. So based on where you are on your skill level, you may want to change this, slow it down or speed it up. Eventually, you want to be able to identify the interval on fast. That's your ultimate goal. Because in an actual song, you won't always have the time to slow down the audio to figure out the interval. So start with slow if you need to, and then work your way up to fast. Below the speed, we have the timer, and we talked about that in the previous video. The timer functions the same right throughout. And same thing with the question limits. The default minimum questions you will always have is 12. And then you can increase it all the way up to 40 if you need to. Multiple attempts is the same thing as the previous video, where it gives you multiple tries on a question. Now let's take a look at some of the questions available or offered in the interval training. So when I click on start, this is how it looks. And in the box, the red box, it says, listen to the audio, what interval is being played. And it's multiple choices. So it gives you 4 options. So, you don't have to guess too far. And then you get to determine. So, pa, 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 pa. It's an interval of a fourth. So I click on fourth, click submit, and it tells me you're correct. How do you work out and practice interval? It's based on the major scale. And this is why it's important that you sing the major scale all the time. I always recommend people use the solfege system. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. And this is something you can practice daily. So you know your major scale inside and out. Once you can do that comfortably, then you need to start to practice your major scale in thirds. Do, mi, re, fa, mi, so, fa, la, so, ti, la, do, la, ti, so, la, fa, mi, so, mi, fa, re, mi, do. Now, if this is something you've never practiced before, you can absolutely spend a week or two, just doing it at the piano first to work on your pitch. But then after a while, you want to be able to do this without the aid of the keyboard. Then you can go ahead and start to practice in fourth. Do, so, or do, fa, do, so. You can also do this type of exercise. Do, re, do, mi, do, fa, do, so, do, la, do, ti, do, ti, do, la, do, so, do, fa, do, mi, do, re, do. And this is, you're learning how to pitch different intervals. If you can do all of that with your major scale, that's what allows you to be able to identify intervals. Because let's take a listen at this one now. Second do, re, do, mi, do, re, do, mi, da, da. No, actually, so it's do, mi. So we know it's a major third, right? So click on that, major third, and it's correct. So once you hear an interval, you can call the first one do. And then all you have to do is sing up the major scale to see where that is. And you can count on your fingers. If I'm trying to get to an interval of a fifth, do, re, mi, fa, so, do, so. And that's how you can start practicing this, to see the distance, and then you go about clicking it on the app, and there you go. So this is what interval training is about. And again, if you need to customize, you just click the gear icon and you do your customization, click the gear icon to exit, and you continue with the app. In the next video, we're going to talk about chord quality recognition. Stay tuned.